Did Prince Harry just reveal that his wife is actually the problem? This is Nikki Millennium. I'm here to discuss Prince Harry's upcoming book called Spare. Like, please spare us, because I'm so tired of his whining.
I'm so sad! Leave me alone!
And he actually exposes a very unflattering story about Meghan. And I'm somehow surprised, and I'm not, because these two completely lack self-awareness, they're incredibly spoiled, and they don't realize how ridiculous and self-entitled they sound. So, according to the Daily Mail, there's an article here about Meghan being offended that she was reprimanded for basically being sexist to Kate. And this is really funny coming from Meghan, because she's supposed to be all about women and woke and this and that. But like most feminists, she probably hates women anyway. So let's go ahead and read this. From the Daily Mail, this article. During the run-up to the Sussex's wedding in May 2018, Harry writes that Meghan told Kate that she must have baby brain because of her hormones. Kate, who gave birth to her third child, Prince Louis, a month before Meghan and Harry's wedding, was understandably upset by the accusation. But Meghan also became offended because she was reprimanded for her comments. It caused a huge row because Meghan was told that she wasn't close enough to her sister-in-law to discuss her hormones, and it wasn't the way people spoke to each other within the royal family. So this is interesting because it's yet another instance of Meghan saying unkind things, being inappropriate, and it also shows that she is not open to any kind of correction. She came into the royal family absolutely perfect. She didn't need any correction. She's just a brash American. She's just being herself. Why should she have to change? Harry, if Harry actually included this in his book, he is confirming that Meghan was the problem. He is confirming that Meghan would not acclimate to the culture, that she would not recognize that there's a hierarchy in the royal family, that she would not recognize that it's not part of their culture to be so familiar with someone who's new coming into the family. And this is supposed to be kind of a sophisticated, worldly woman. She's from California. She's so woke and self-aware and multicultural. Yet she is demonstrating, according to Harry, that she was not willing to learn their culture, acclimate to their family, acclimate to their ways, and respect boundaries. Why would you tell a woman that you're not that familiar with yet that her hormones are acting up? And the funny thing is, had a man said this to Meghan, she would be screaming sexism, but she thinks it's okay to say this to Catherine. And then on top of that, she's not even humble enough to recognize that she's made a faux pas and to show some humility. She was actually offended at being corrected at her honestly poor demonstration of manners. Now, this invites a lot of questions. First of all, in what reference did she tell Meghan did she tell Kate or Catherine that she had baby brain? Because is this during the incidences where Meghan has accused Princess Catherine of making her cry? Because that's very interesting. It sounds like Meghan is the one who upset Catherine during the wedding. So it kind of makes you wonder, because Harry's pretty much thrown everyone else under the bus. It makes me wonder if he's also throwing his wife under the bus. I always assumed that Meghan would get one up on Harry once the divorce came, but I wonder if Harry is slowly prepping Meghan for making her the fallout guy so that he can get back in with his family. I have to wonder about this, because this is incredibly unflattering. And it also contradicts Meghan's claims in the interview with Oprah. Of course, we would have to get more details. Apparently, this was in regards to some of the arrangements for the wedding, with the bridesmaids and some of the dates. But still, this Harry and whoever is ghostwriting for him, well, we'll say more so Harry, must understand that this will be interpreted as a contradiction to Meghan's claims during the Oprah interview. So it's very interesting that this would be included, and it seems very deliberate. Harry, of course, yesterday we also learned that Harry and William got into fisticuffs. Why Harry thought this would be a good story to tell, I don't know. Getting beat up by your older brother and getting your chain snatched is not remotely flattering, is not remotely it's actually really embarrassing. Keep in mind, Harry is a 6'2" veteran, okay? He's supposed to be like, he was kind of like the hot athletic brother. William, Prince William was kind of like, in reality, Prince William is fit, but compared to Harry, Harry was supposed to be the more physically impressive one. So it's interesting to see him kind of put himself in kind of a beta subordinate position to push a certain narrative. It's like he's taking tips from, he's almost out Meghaning Meghan. Like he's taken her tendency to be self-victimizing, and I swear he's like one-upping her on self-victimization to where he's even managed to make his own wife look like the bad guy. I just think that's really interesting. But anyway, apparently Harry and William got into an argument about Meghan. Basically, Prince William told Harry the truth about his wife, and they got into a row about it. And apparently Prince William pushed Harry to the floor, made him fall in a dog bowl, and then I guess Harry went to go get William some water afterwards. Harry just, he might as well have included an excerpt about how he removed his balls and just handed them to William. It's a really embarrassing admission, and I have no idea why he included this. It doesn't make him look sympathetic at all. In fact, if anything, I think people who are anti-Sussex are probably well, good for William for trying to smack some sense into him. And William doesn't have exactly a tough guy image. I know it's a little bit sexist and a little bit unfair, but I think physical altercations are a little bit different for men in certain situations. If you're trying to make William look bad by basically saying you got into a fight and he won, I don't think that's really the way to go. Of course, fighting isn't a good thing, but basically, you're kind of calling yourself a loser and you're admitting that your big brother kind of whipped your butt. That's not really, I don't know. I don't think admitting that Prince William whooped the butt of a 6'2" army veteran is going to, it's not really embarrassing for a guy. I don't think. You're not really embarrassing him by saying that. If anything, I think he's getting a little bit of mini clout off of that, because I don't think anyone really thought Prince William had it in him to take down Harry, because Harry's the like I said, he was always kind of the athletic one. So no one was expecting that. I think it's a little bit different for a guy when you're admitting that a man physically domineered you in a fight. You're not really necessarily making that guy look bad in that situation. I don't think that was well played, William. I'm sorry, Harry. I don't think that was smart. But yeah, this I said months ago, let him release his memoirs. The more they talk, the crazier they look. So I say, let them release their memoirs. Let them keep yammering about. It's only going to escalate their fall into irrelevancy, because what people have to understand, Harry and Meghan were always going to be irrelevant to the monarchy. They are the siblings of a future monarch. They're going to have, they and their children are going to have the same outcome as, say, Princess Margaret and her children, Sarah Chateau and her grandchildren. No one really talks about them. They're kind of relegated to the background. That's the natural order of the monarchy. The main line tends to get all the attention. The siblings and the cousins and this and that, they fall to the background. This is why Charles is not going to pull the titles. I don't believe he'll pull the titles. There's no need to pull the titles. Meghan and Harry will fall, even if they stay married forever, which they're not going to. They're very likely to divorce. Harry and Meghan will naturally fall into irrelevancy, into the background anyway, even if they were on their best behavior and stayed with the monarchy. That is the natural order of things. They were never going to be big players in the long run. Because once Charlotte, Louis, and George come of age, the attention will be solely pretty much on William, Catherine, and their children. Nobody's going to care about the brother. No one's going to care, about the brother of the monarch or the uncle of the monarch and their kids. No one talks really about Sarah Chateau and her kids. So Harry and Meghan are on a faster road towards irrelevancy. They're insignificant to the monarchy just by virtue of their position, and they're just accelerating their inevitable decline in popularity, their inevitable decline in obscurity. That's how it goes for siblings of the monarch or future monarch. So there's really, they're holding on to notoriety and attention with both hands because they feel that grip slipping. They know that one day no one is going to be talking about them. So there's no point in Charles pulling their titles. Why blemish his reign, invite gossip, embarrass his own bloodline? Because at the end of the day, Harry is still Charles's son. It's still going to be an embarrassment for him to bring that kind of stain on his family by pulling Harry's titles. This will also cause King Charles to look reactionary, and once you become reactionary to an opponent, your power is diminished. So I think King Charles is very careful not to look reactionary. Pulling his dukedom. King Charles is not going to bother with all that, getting Parliament involved, and going through all of that hullabaloo for two people who will inevitably become irrelevant anyway. So I don't believe he'll pull the titles. I don't believe there's much point in pulling the titles. The only kind of hiccup with that is that Archie would be set to inherit his dukedom from his father, but I don't know. I mean, they may have a plan in place for that, but I don't see Charles pulling the titles. I don't think there's any point. Not when these two people are accelerating their downfall anyway. Anyway, please like and subscribe. Tell me down below what you think about the situation, what you think about Harry kind of throwing his wife under the bus. I think Harry may be prepping for doing to Meghan what she probably plans on doing to him. One thing I know, this divorce is going to be very ugly. But anyway, tell me what you think down below. Make sure you like and subscribe. Bye-bye.